So the Halo Infinite gameplay was revealed the other day with the campaign demo. I was originally going to make a breakdown of everything in the gameplay reveal, but I feel like everyone and their grandma has made that video already. But I really wanted to get my initial thoughts and impressions out there into the wild and share them with you guys. I posted my live reaction on the channel, so check that out if you're interested, and I've watched it a few times since as well. So we're going to go over everything I didn't like, what I'm really not sure on just yet, and then the stuff that I did like. So here we go. So the first thing I want to address is the look of the game. My honest overall impression was that the game looked just unfinished and just generally unpolished. It's not a terrible looking game, but the fact that this is supposed to be a flagship launch title for the next gen Xbox console, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed in how it looked. The lighting didn't seem fully rendered in some places. The Banished Phantom just instantly reminded me of that Covenant ship explosion on the first level of Halo 4, where it just explodes into just all these pre-rendered different pieces. To me, it just looked like someone forge welded some items onto a Phantom and put it in the game. The Brutes and Grunts look kind of like the Halo Wars 2 units if you zoom in on them, or maybe even that Grunt doll from Halo 5 Forge. They're just like one color tone with not a lot of detail or shading, and I don't know, they just really didn't do it for me. Even with Estrom, the brute bad guy at the end, with his speech, his face just seemed to fall in like the uncanny valley for me. He just seemed off. The landscape in the background looked great in some places, but awful in others. Those white pillar things that were part of the mountains, I'm guessing they were going for an unfinished Halo ring look, like it's in the process of being rebuilt or built. But to me, it just straight up looks like something out of Minecraft and comes off more like an unfinished Halo game. The texture, or the lack thereof, was really not appealing to my eye at all. There were also a few pop-ins during the demo. There was one when the minimap is closed, and then another in the clouds during the elevator ride. You can see them just pop in. I'd say those are like minor issues, but there's still something I noticed, and it definitely took me out of the immersion. Especially with this being the unveiling of the game that we've been waiting so long for. I don't know, I guess I was just expecting a little bit more. I also felt like the fusion coils just looked like placement models, which they most likely are, but still, just really lacking in detail in my opinion. The last thing I didn't like were the look of some of the new weapons. The Commando and the Bulldog really just looked like super generic to me. Like something you'd see in Call of Duty or Battlefield. There wasn't really anything about them that stood out to me, or anything that said like, yes, this is a Halo weapon. The Burst Carbine, really the same thing here. Nothing stood out about this weapon to me. It just looked like a generic sci-fi gun to me. And the Ravager, I instantly just thought Cybertruck. Maybe it'll grow on me, but that was just the first thing I thought when I saw it. So I don't want it to come off like I'm hating on 343 or anything. I'm just giving you guys my honest opinions here. After the reveal, 343 actually stated that what was shown off to us, they confirmed that it was actually an earlier build in the game from earlier on in the year. So I get that it may not look as good as the finished product is going to, but your average person watching that, there's no way that they could have known that. And that's really disappointing to me that someone who sees this for the first time, that might be their impression. I also understand that what we saw is a demo, but when I think of a demo, I think of a small slice of what you can expect from the finished product. I don't think of seeing a stable build from earlier in the year. So they've got some polishing to do for sure. And like I said, it's not a terrible looking game. And if that's how it looked earlier in the year and they've had time to polish, I think it's safe to say that we can expect a better looking finished game. I'm hoping that's the case, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they've improved. So now let's talk about what I'm indifferent on and what I'm worried about. So we know we have sprint, slide, and clamber in the campaign, and if you've only watched the demo, you may not know this, but 343 has confirmed all of these things are going to be in the multiplayer as well. Maybe not to the same extent, but they will be there. As far as sprint goes, I could honestly go either way. Halo 2 and Halo 5 are my two favorite multiplayers in the series, and I've honestly really enjoyed every Halo game, some more than others, but sprint wasn't really the major deciding factor for me personally. Slide is fine with sprint, I mean, it makes sense. Clamber, I'm really not sure on. Maybe not so much from a campaign standpoint, but really a multiplayer. I really Just hope that most of, if not all, the jumps can be made with a standard crouch jump. But really, we'll just have to wait and see how this is implemented for me to give my really full opinion on it. Another thing that worries me are the descriptions that show up under the prompt of some of the weapons as they're walked over. To me, these are either just really a short description of how the weapon functions. So you have the weapon type, the ammo type, and how it fires, which is fine. Or it's a breakdown of upgrades or customizations on the weapon, which I'm not really a fan of. I haven't really seen any information on this outside of the video other than just what we see. So I'm just going to go off on what I see. And if weapon customization or variants like that are in the game, I really don't know if I'm a fan of that. I'm really just hoping they're short descriptions of how the weapon functions. There's also some things that are implied in the mini-map that worry me. I wasn't able to find any information other than what was shown in the video here either, so it's really up in the air as to what some of the stuff means. So that's just what I'm going to go off of and what I'm going to base my opinion on. So looking at the 3 tabs at the top here, there's an upgrade tab. We don't really know what exactly that means, but it seems to imply that we may be able to upgrade our suit, weapons, or maybe our abilities, which makes me think of that possible weapon customization thing. RPG elements like that have never been done in a Halo game, so I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I might like it, I might hate it. I really just don't know at the moment. I'll have to really see what exactly this upgrade tabs mean. There are also some things here that seem to suggest Destiny-like missions, meaning you can play them repeatedly. I don't know if this is the case, but the fact that there is a difficulty setting and along the bottom you have the view missions and start mission options, to me seems to imply that these missions are replayable. Now that may not be the case, but if it is true, I am absolutely not a fan of that. That was one of the things that I did not like about Destiny, was replaying missions over and over again for loot or XP, which brings me to the next thing, is we also don't know what the star icon with the 0320 next to it means either. Does that mean how many upgrade points you get for playing the missions? Is it how much XP you'll get for playing the mission? Is it the time of day the mission takes place? We just don't know at this point. So if you guys have any information on what any of this stuff on the minimap means, or if there's anything explaining it, definitely let me know, because I would like to dig into that. So I also don't know how I feel about the entire campaign being an open world. I really hope that we get some linear style missions with like big scripted events like Scarab battles and things like that mixed in there as well, rather than it just being 100% an open world. I feel like a good mix would go a long way. So now let's move on to what I did like about the reveal and what I'm excited for. The first things first, Chief's suit looks badass. It looks like the perfect blend between CE and Halo 3, and dude, I love this thing. I really like the initial reveal of the gameplay when Chief walks out and looks up at the Halo ring. Definitely got some nostalgia vibes from the second mission in CE when you land on Halo for the first time. So that was really cool. You can also really tell that 343 took that feedback to heart, that people wanted to see some more wildlife on the Halo rings. So now there's wildlife everywhere, and that's alright with me. The music throughout was awesome. They had some new interesting ideas and twist on classic sounding songs that I really enjoyed, and I'm going to need that OST now, please. The Reach AR looks pretty damn, if I do say so. It's not my first AR pick personally, but it is an iconic Halo weapon for sure. The pistol looked really cool, reminded me a lot of the Halo 2 pistol. The Brute Mangler looked really cool. I liked it a lot. It's like a souped up revolver. I'm also really excited to explore the open world area. I'm hoping we'll find some different ways to tackle missions and maybe some like really cool secrets and Easter eggs throughout the open world. The Warthog looks and sounds great as always. I really liked the look of the Elites and the Jackals. They really reminded me a lot of the CE and Halo 2 designs. It was really cool seeing suicide grunts being tossed at you in battle. That was really an interesting new way to mix up the combat, and I hope we see more stuff like that in the finished game. I also like how the minimap looks like it's straight out of ODST with the color palette and the design. I'm sure ODST fans were super excited when they saw that pop up. I'm also really interested to see what the third tab that says database has. It looks like there's going to be some collectibles you can get. Looks like in those icons there's like a 0 out of 4 and 0 out of 1 collected. So maybe you have to go out and explore to find them. And I think it's also really cool that there's what appear to be side missions as well, something that's never been done in a Halo game before. So maybe going off the beaten path and playing side missions will give you some further insight to the story. And I think this pulse ability may be a big part in finding hidden collectibles. I'm also really excited that equipment is back in the game. We saw the drop wall in play, which is like the one-sided bubble shield. But now I'm wondering, what other new equipment are we going to see in the game? Or maybe we're going to see some old equipment returning from Halo 3. So lastly, the biggest game changer to me, and what I can't wait to see more of, is the grappling hook. Using it for exploring the world, maybe getting like a vantage point with a sniper, launching yourself at an enemy, or using it for some like crazy escapes during a battle looks so much fun. When you use that grapple hook to grab a fusion coil and then throw it at that shade turret, dude, that was so awesome. The grapple hook looks super fun, and I honestly cannot wait to try it out in game. So that will about do it, guys, for my initial impressions of what we saw in the campaign demo. There are some things that worry me, but overall I'm excited for Infinite and a new Halo game, finally. So let me know what you thought about everything in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I'm really interested to see what you guys thought about it. And also be sure to check out my links in the description: Twitter, Twitch, Discord, and be sure to hit that like button and subscribe and all that. And I will see you guys next time. Rapscallion out.